Namaskar and welcome to this new presentation. I'm Shubhendu Ghosh. India this week. In the next half an hour, we take you closer to the big stories of the week. Stories that map the rise of New India, developments that portray how India on the move despite all hurdles and challenges, glimpses also of rich cultural diversity that makes Incredible India a lived reality, and how celebrations of 75th year of independence continue as part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. As India and the world celebrate birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi, there couldn't have been a more special day for us to start this journey. Let's begin with the top stories of the week. Nation pays homage to Father of the Nation, Mahatma Gandhi, on his 152nd birth anniversary. President, Vice President, Prime Minister pay floral tributes to Gandhiji at Rajghat. Prime Minister says his noble principles are globally relevant and give strength to millions. Series of functions including Sarva Dharma Prathana Sabha organized to mark the occasion. Nation remembers second Prime Minister of the country Lal Bahadur Shastri on his 118th birth anniversary. President, Vice President and Prime Minister pay floral tributes at Vijay Ghat. PM says Shastriji's life based on values and principles will always remain a source of inspiration for the countrymen. India Pavilion opens in Dubai Expo 2020. It is one of the largest pavilions at the Expo, encompassing the theme openness, opportunities and growth. Prime Minister Modi says pavilion exhibits vibrancy and diversity of the nation. Prime Minister Modi lays foundation stone for 4 medical colleges in Rajasthan, says new national health policy has transformed the health sector of the nation. 170 new medical colleges set up in the last 7 years. Indian Army eliminates 7 terrorists in 7 days, including 5 on the line of control. 19-year-old terrorist apprehended admits he's from Punjab province in Pakistan. Indian Army says Pakistan has activated terror launch pads across LOC. Infiltration taking place with complicity of Pakistan's army. Says Pakistan is desperate to launch a strike in Kashmir. And let's now talk about New India. Showcasing India's technical enterprise, India Pavilion opened at Dubai Expo 2020 on Friday. India has one of the largest pavilions at the Expo, encompassing the theme openness, opportunities and growth. In his inaugural speech virtually at the Expo, PM Modi said the pavilion exhibits vibrancy and diversity of the nation, giving a clarion call to investors to come and invest in India. Prime Minister said India is land of opportunities in various fields and thus offers maximum growth in scale, ambition and outcome.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi gave an inaugural welcome speech via video conferencing at the opening of the India Pavilion at the Expo 2020 Dubai in the United Emirates on Friday. In his opening remarks, the Prime Minister said that the theme of the Expo 2020, Connecting Minds and Creating the Future, is seen in India's effort to make New India.
The main theme of Expo 2020 is connecting minds, creating the future. The spirit of this theme is also seen in India's efforts as we move ahead to create a new India.
The Prime Minister also said that the theme of the India Pavilion is openness, opportunities and growth. He said that the vibrancy and diversity of India is reflected in the India Pavilion.
India is famous for its vibrancy and diversity. We have different cultures, languages, cuisines, forms of art, music and dance. This diversity is reflected in our pavilion. Similarly, India is a powerhouse of talent.
The Prime Minister also invited all the potential investors to come and invest in India.
Today's India is one of the most open countries in the world. Open to learning, open to perspectives, open to innovation, open to investment. That is why I invite you to come and invest in our nation.
The Prime Minister talked about the reforms undertaken by the government and said that the reforms will continue.
Over the last 7 years, the government of India has undertaken several reforms to boost economic growth. We will keep doing more to continue this trend.
Earlier, Union Minister for Commerce and Industry Piyush Goyal inaugurated the India Pavilion and also addressed the event. The Indian Pavilion at the Expo has gathered rave reviews. It stands out, featuring kinetic facade that is made up of 600 individual colorful blocks. It is developed as a mosaic of rotating panels which represent an India on the move. In the evening, the facade turns into a mesmerizing light and sound show. The first World Fair to be held in the Middle East, Expo 2020 Dubai, opened on Thursday with a lavish ceremony of fireworks, music and messaging about the power of global collaboration for a more sustainable future. Dubai, the region's tourism, trade and business hub, is hoping to boost its economy by attracting 25 million businesses and tourist visits to the World Fair, which has been built from scratch on 4.3 square kilometers of desert. The full expo site has opened its doors to exhibitors from almost 200 countries after being delayed for a year by the pandemic. The Gulf state has relaxed most coronavirus restrictions, but the expo requires face masks to be worn and for visitors over 18 to be vaccinated against or test negative for COVID-19. Bureau Report, DD India.
And Union Minister for Commerce and Industry Piyush Goyal inaugurated the India Pavilion at Dubai that showcases India's vibrant culture along with diverse partnership opportunities that the country is capable of offering. Addressing the event, the minister said the entire world is looking towards India as a trusted partner.
I would like to thank the United Arab Emirates for giving India a pride of place at the Dubai Expo 2020 and to help us create this marvel in motion.
Moving on, in a new milestone for public health in the country, Prime Minister Modi on Monday launched the Ayushman Bharat Digital Mission to provide digital health ID to people. Now, these health IDs will safely store all the health-related information and records of individuals. Often, lack of records of medical history consumes more time, higher cost and improper treatment. Now, under this mission, every citizen will now get a digital health ID and their health records will be digitally protected. The nationwide rollout of digital health ID coincides with National Health Authority celebrating the 3rd anniversary of Ayushman Bharat Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi launched the Ayushman Bharat Digital Mission through video conference on Monday. The Prime Minister said Ayushman Bharat Digital Mission will now connect the digital health solutions of hospitals across the country with each other. The mission will not only make the processes of hospitals simplified, but also will increase the ease of living. Speaking on the occasion, the Prime Minister said that the campaign of strengthening health facilities that have been going on for the last 7 years in the country is entering a new phase today.
बीते 7 वर्षों में देश की स्वास्थ्य सुविधाओं को मजबूत करने का जो अभियान चल रहा है वो आज से एक नए चरण में प्रवेश कर रहा है और ये सामान्य चरण नहीं है। ये असामान्य चरण है। आज एक ऐसे मिशन की शुरुआत हो रही है जिसमें भारत की स्वास्थ्य सुविधाओं में क्रांतिकारी परिवर्तन लाने की बहुत बड़ी ताकत है।
Under the revolutionary mission, every citizen will now get a digital health ID and their health record will be digitally protected.
मेडिकल हिस्ट्री का रिकॉर्ड न होने से समय भी ज्यादा लगता है, खर्च भी बढ़ता है और कभी-कभी तो उपचार कॉन्ट्राडिक्टरी भी हो जाता है। और हमारे गांव देहात में रहने वाले भाई बहन तो इस वजह से बहुत परेशानी उठाते हैं।
The Prime Minister also discussed unprecedented reforms in health education and said a much larger number of doctors and paramedical manpower is being created in India now as compared to 7 to 8 years ago.
इससे मरीजों को देश के किसी कोने में भी उपस्थित स्पेशलिस्ट डॉक्टर से संपर्क करने की सहूलियत बढ़ेगी। सिर्फ डॉक्टर ही नहीं बल्कि बेहतर टेस्ट के लिए लैब्स और दवा दुकानों की भी पहचान आसानी से संभव हो पाएगी।
The Prime Minister underlined the fact that with 130 crore Aadhaar numbers, 118 crore mobile subscribers, about 80 crore internet users, nearly 43 crore Jan Dhan bank accounts, there is no such big connected infrastructure anywhere in the world. This digital infrastructure is bringing everything from ration to administration to the common man in a fast and transparent manner. He further said there has also been an unprecedented expansion of telemedicine during the corona period. So far, about 125 crores remote consultations have been completed through the eSanjeevani portal. The Prime Minister informed that India is working on a health model that is holistic and inclusive, a model which stresses preventive healthcare and in case of disease, easy, affordable and accessible treatment. The Prime Minister remarked that Ayushman Bharat PMJ has addressed a key headache in the lives of the poor. So far, more than 2 crore countrymen have availed the facility of free treatment under the scheme, half of which are women. Bureau Report, DD India.
And you're watching India This Week. Let us now track India on the move. Even as Pakistan continues with a desperate policy of using terrorists in a proxy war against India, a latest US congressional report on terrorism has laid bare how Pakistan is home to at least 12 groups designated as foreign terrorist organizations, including India-centric ones such as LET and Jaish-e-Mohammed. Meanwhile, Indian Army continues to eliminate terrorists and foil infiltration attempts at the borders efficiently.
Indian Army eliminates 7 terrorists in 1 week. Pakistan activates terror launch pads. Pakistan desperate to strike in Kashmir. Pakistan is doing what it is best known to do, exporting terrorism across borders. The Indian Army announced on Tuesday that it eliminated 7 terrorists that had infiltrated from Pakistan in the last 1 week, 5 of them at the line of control. The army also apprehended a 19-year-old Pakistani terrorist in Uri in Baramulla district who has identified himself as Ali Baba Batra, son of late Muhammad Latif, a resident of Punjab province in Pakistan.
He has admitted that he is a member of Lashkar-e-Taiba. He was trained by that outfit, and giving details of his training, he has revealed that he underwent a 3 weeks course in 2019 at Khyber camp, Gadi Habibullah, Muzaffarabad.
The army said that the infiltration could not have taken place with the active complicity of the Pakistan army.
There has been a lot of movement in the launch pad across line of control. You would recall that the infiltration attempt has also been made on 18th when 3 terrorists were neutralized in the neighboring area.
The army also said that given the recoveries made and the modus operandi of the infiltrating group, they have reason to believe that the terrorist and his accomplices came in to conduct a strike in Kashmir. The infiltration attempt was made in the same area of Samalabad Nala, which has been often used as an infiltration route, including by suicide attackers who targeted the Uri garrison in 2016. Pointing to increased activity on terror launch pads close to LOC, the army revealed that Islamabad was desperate to send in terrorists to create disturbance and carry out a sensational strike in Kashmir.
Now it shows the desperation of Pakistan when he sees that the peace and stability in Kashmir is something that is not to Pakistan's liking. So there is desperation to send in terrorists to create disturbance and some kind of a sensational strike.
The Indian Army's operation comes days after a US congressional report on terrorism that gives details of how Pakistan is home to at least 12 foreign terrorist organizations, including 5 India-centric ones like the Lashkar-e-Taiba and Jaish-e-Mohammed. It notes that the LET, formed in 1980s and designated as foreign terrorist organization in 2001, was responsible for the terror attacks in Mumbai as well as numerous other high-profile attacks. On Jaish-e-Mohammed, the report points to how, along with LET, it was responsible for the 2001 attack on the Indian Parliament, among other attacks. The report also acknowledges the presence of other terrorist groups inside Pakistan, such as Al-Qaeda in the Indian subcontinent, Islamic State Khorasan province, the Afghan Taliban, the Haqqani Network, Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, Balochistan Liberation Army, Jundullah, Sipahi-Sahiba Pakistan and Lashkar-e-Janvi. The congressional reports are prepared by independent experts at periodic intervals for the US lawmakers to take informed decisions. The report further corners Pakistan, grey-listed by the Financial Action Task Force, and may further fuel anger within the US strategic community over Pakistan's duplicitous role in Afghanistan. With inputs from Salman Qazi in Kashmir, Bureau Report, DD India.
Moving on, Prime Minister Narendra Modi this week launched the Jal Jeevan Mission mobile app. He released an e-book on the Jal Jeevan Mission Samvad. A short video on the crucial mission was also showcased. Prime Minister also interacted with Gram Panchayats and village water and sanitation committees for improving awareness among stakeholders and for greater transparency and accountability of the scheme under the mission. During the interaction, he asked them how the problem of water shortage has been sorted and how people, especially women, have benefited with Har Ghar Nal Yojana and Jal Jeevan Mission. And let's now talk about the Amrit Mahotsav. Gandhi Jayanti celebrations coincide this year with Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, which was inaugurated on March 12th this year by PM Modi on the 91st anniversary of a significant event in Gandhiji's life, the Dandi March. The march had a key role in furthering the spirit of pride and Atmanirbharta among Indians. The day is also celebrated as International Day of Non-Violence every year to honor Mahatma Gandhi's path of ahimsa. During the Indian freedom struggle, a series of functions have also been organized across the country and by Indian missions abroad on the occasion of Gandhi Jayanti. And President Ramnath Kovind paid floral tributes to Mahatma Gandhi at Rajghat in the national capital on the 152nd birth anniversary.
Mahatma Gandhi, our beloved Bapu. Let's remember the Mahatma who shook the world in a gentle way. He path of ahimsa and non-violence to make us unite. Honorable President offering his tribute to Bapu.
Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu also reached Rajghat and paid tributes to Bapu on his birth anniversary.
To our beloved Bapu. The 152nd birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi. Gandhi ji.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi also paid floral tributes to the father of the nation at Rajghat in the national capital. Earlier in a message, he had said, Gandhiji's noble principles are globally relevant and give strength to millions.
Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi, offering floral tribute to father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi. गांधी जी ने न सिर्फ भारतवासियों को एक नई राह दिखाई, बल्कि उनकी पूरी सोच को बदला। सत्य और अहिंसा के पथ का पालन बापू ने सदैव किया। उनका जीवन।
Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla offered floral tributes to Mahatma Gandhi on his 152nd birth anniversary. A special all-religion prayer meet was also organized at Rajghat to pay tributes to Mahatma Gandhi on his birth anniversary. And President Ramnath Kovind paid floral tributes to Lal Bahadur Shastri Ji at Vijay Ghat in New Delhi on his 118th birth anniversary. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu also reached Vijay Ghat and paid tributes to Shastri Ji on his birth anniversary. Prime Minister Narendra Modi paid floral tributes to Lal Bahadur Shastri Ji. Earlier in a message, he said, his life based on values and principles will always remain a source of inspiration for the people in the country. You're watching India This Week, and time now for glimpses of incredible India. Now, the centre is pushing for social and cultural connectivity of Turtuk and other remote villages in the country, such as once in Nubra Valley. On a landmark day for the Union Territory of Ladakh and its people, construction on 5 major road infrastructure development projects was launched. Our correspondent Nandita Dagar visited Turtuk and brings us more.
This is Turtuk. Turtuk and 5 other villages on the line of control were liberated by the army from Pakistan-occupied Kashmir in 1971. These Balti-speaking villages of the Nubra Valley are culturally different from the other regions of Ladakh. And now with the Modi government, with its focus on national integration and with its motto of Ek Bharat Shresth Bharat, Modi government's culture ministry is organizing a cultural event.
बहुत जज्बा है जीना, बहुत खुशी है। ये 50 साल की है, आपने ये खुशी मनाया, ये हमारे पूरे आवाम को बहुत खुशी है।
हमारे पिताजी या दादाजी कहते थे कि पाकिस्तान से बेहतर जो इंडिया में 71 में हम यहाँ आए और इंडियन गवर्नमेंट ने हमारे लिए बहुत फैसिलिटीज़ भी दे दिया और कानून भी अच्छा बनाया और बहुत अच्छे इंडिया गवर्नमेंट ने हमारे लिए।
நான் வந்து கரகம் டான்சர்ஸ் எனக்கு வந்து தமிழ்நாட்டில் ரொம்ப எல்லா இடத்துலையும் ப்ரோக்ராம் பண்ணியிருக்கிறோம். ஆனால் துருத்துருக்கு இப்போ தான் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் டைமாக வந்து இந்த இடத்துல ப்ரோக்ராம் பண்ணுறோம். இந்த இடத்துல ப்ரோக்ராம் பண்ணுறது எங்களுக்கு ரொம்ப சந்தோஷமாக இருக்குது. துருத்துருக்கு அடுத்த வருஷமும் கண்டினியூவாக வருஷம் வருஷம் வந்து இந்த இடத்துல ப்ரோக்ராம் பண்ணணும்னு நாங்கள் ரொம்ப ஆசைப்படுறோம். தமிழ்நாட்டில் பரதநாட்டியம், தப்பாட்டம், பறையாட்டம் நிறைய கலைஞர்கள் இருக்காங்க, ஆர்டிஸ்ட்லாம் இருக்காங்க. அவங்கெல்லாம் இங்கே வந்து performance பண்ணனும் அப்படினு நான் துர்துர் கவர்மெண்ட்டை கேட்டுக்கிறேன்.
A couple of months ago, the sarpanches of Turtuk and the neighboring 5 villages which were liberated in 1971 wrote to Prime Minister Modi asking him to organize a function commemorating and celebrating the liberation of these villages and unification in India. This being the 75th year of India's independence and the golden jubilee year, 50th year of the victory of the 1971 war, and also the golden jubilee of the reunification of these villages in India, the Modi government has organized a huge song and dance festival.
हम ये बजेंगे इसको डमी में और इसके साथ जबरे डांस।
Enthusiasm of the residents of Turtuk and these villages in the Nubra Valley is to be seen, to be believed. They are lapping it up and with much enthusiasm participating in these songs and dances. They are learning about the costumes, music and musical instruments of different parts of the country. This is what symbolizes Ek Bharat Shresth Bharat or unity in diversity. With camera person Kumar Datta in Turtuk in the Nubra Valley, this is Nandita Dagar for DD News.
And with that, we conclude this first edition of India This Week. Well, the journey has just begun. See you again next week with more stories, developments and landmarks that tells the India story. Namaskar.